We really don't deserve Paul Thomas Anderson, and his newest film, One Battle After Another, is not the movie we need right now, but it might just be a new all-time classic.
Rise and shine.
Everyone's favorite indie filmmaker can seemingly do no wrong. Every step that Paul Thomas Anderson has taken is apparently the right one, with the acclaimed filmmaker now having like 4 to 7 all-time classics under his belt, depending on who you ask. PTA is only getting better with age, but his ability to conceptualize these deep, character-driven studies of the human mind, body, and soul has been there from the beginning. The Master was perhaps a high point in his career, a film I much prefer over his more normie-friendly There Will Be Blood.
I've abandoned my child. Say it louder. Say it louder.
But picking your favorite PTA movie is like picking your favorite child. It's a really hard decision, but you know deep down which one you like the most. All of his films are great and bring something new to the table, but it's PTA's eagerness to explore the inner workings of ill-advised people that remains his most exciting quality. With One Battle After Another, it feels like PTA hasn't just perfected his craft, he may have just set a new bar for the medium itself. Sweaty, shocking, hilarious. These are the 3 words I'd use to describe One Battle After Another, or OBAA as the cool kids are calling it. The only times I wasn't glued to the edge of my seat during this 162-minute long West Coast political epic were the credits, and even then my heart was racing. This is an absolutely jam-packed film full of heart, violence, action, political intrigue, sweet Steely Dan needle drops, and enough explosives to make Michael Bay blush. In just one word, One Battle After Another is loud. Both literally and figuratively. Seeing this in IMAX probably didn't help, but holy moly is OBAA loud. Gunfire, pipe bombs, and car crashes have never sounded so visceral and so real and dangerous. When a bullet is fired, our characters feel it, and so does the audience. Like I said, One Battle After Another is very loud and proud about being a modern film looking at modern society with a modern political lens. But this is PTA we're talking about here. There's obviously a lot more swimming under the surface. Based on Thomas Pynchon's novel Vineland, it's unsurprising to me that OBAA feels a lot like Inherent Vice.
Got a spare picture I could borrow?
What role does the government play in shaping the culture and vice versa? Who is supposed to hold who accountable in desperate times? Where's the best place to get pancakes?
Kinichiro, dozo, moto pancake. Moto pancake. Moto pancake. Hai. Hai. Hai.
These 2 films in particular are PTA at his most gleeful, his most whimsical. These stories are very grounded, but characters and the circumstances they find themselves in feel almost cartoonishly outlandish. There's a Looney Tunes quality to both Inherent Vice and OBAA that is unshakable to me. This isn't to say that the films don't touch on dark and real-world issues like immigration and our good old Second Amendment, but what makes One Battle After Another so great is that it's totally aware and okay with how absurd it is. Inherent Vice is probably the most divisive PTA film out there, but he kind of enters a flow state here that is unmatched in his other work outside of One Battle After Another. Everything from the dialogue and musical swells to the stunning camera work convinces you what you are watching in One Battle After Another is not only real, but it's life-altering for everyone involved. Whether or not you believe in the so-called revolution, you believe that Leo's character, Bob, believes in it. And at the end of the day, revolutions aren't so much about policy changes or constitutional amendments as much as they are about getting people to believe in a single cause. One Battle After Another touches on a lot of things, but its most consistent or persistent theme is in the title. Every day is a new struggle. No matter who is in power or who has power, you can and you will face challenges, and more often than not, you will fail. Obviously, certain groups face different struggles. Some people choose chaos, and others are born into it. Struggle is what makes us human, and even though you may be part of the club, there's always someone above you to remind you you're not good enough. What really makes One Battle After Another so fascinating is that it's so current in its politics, but at the same time, it never feels ham-fisted. It's very easy to compare this film to Eddington, another favorite of mine from this year.
I am recording this!
6 feet.
However, where Ari Aster kind of held a mirror to our dumb little faces to show us how dumb and pathetic and stupid and dumb we all are for letting stupid and dumb people who don't know anything rule over us, PTA simply holds up a nice frosted piece of glass, allowing us to look at all the violence, confusion, and hurt right in front of us. Community plays a big role in one battle after another, whether that be through friends, family, or those with a common goal. Is the greater good ultimately worth it? This is one of the main questions lying at the center of this Leo-flavored Tootsie Pop, and it's asked of both sides. Is protecting those less fortunate worth losing yourself in? What about losing your wife? Or your daughter? Or the Jelly of the Month Club?
Bingo.
One battle after another asked a lot of questions. One's being asked right now in real life, like what exactly is the role of government? There are groups that want to squash others. The choice is, do we let them? Sure, there may be people who disagree with you. There may even be people here illegally. But when a SWAT team is brought into communities, brandishing giant assault rifles and taking over high school dances, who is actually doing the invading? There's a very interesting thread deep within One Battle After Another involving Leonardo DiCaprio's character Bob. Bob is sort of this washed-up revolutionary, one with a checkered but accomplished past. Bob fought the law and actually won, securing what he saw as freedom for others around him. However, modern-day Bob realizes this actually did cost him his freedom, as he now lives in the shadows in constant fear that a crazed Sean Penn will one day find him. This begs the question, what is freedom? Is freedom the ability to do what you want? Or is it the ability to do what's right? Everyone in OBAA operates in this gray area of morality, something we all like to think doesn't exist. The world would be a lot simpler if it was all black and white, but nothing is ever this easy. Despite being a huge PTA fanboy, I have to admit that I was kind of skeptical going into One Battle After Another. I can admit the initial teaser and trailers for OBAA didn't exactly hit. It's a Paul Thomas Anderson film, of course I'm gonna go see it, but these wouldn't have moved me to go out of my way to watch had I been a regular civilian, a pedestrian moviegoer. Leonardo DiCaprio being in this is certainly a big pull, someone who is by far one of the biggest stars to ever grace a PTA film, but still the marketing felt a little flat. All this to say, I don't know what I was expecting going into One Battle After Another, but it turned out to be a near perfect project. It's a miracle film, one that will likely to go down and is already going down as an instant classic. There are shots in this movie that are like already ingrained in my brain. They're being burned like a CD drive. Some of these are in the trailer, but are given so much more context in the actual film. Something PTA brings to all of his films is sincerity. This is a word I think modern culture has forgotten about. In a post irony age where everyone is conditioned to do their best Jim Halpert smirk if someone says something even slightly weird or goofy.
So go back to the club.
PTA's steady hand cuts through all that noise with surgical precision. Yeah, what that guy said was weird. It was crazy. But he's crazy. He didn't tell a joke. He's actually crazy.
So go back to the club.
Sincerity is sorely missing from a lot of art today. PTA has never been afraid to do what he wants, but OBAA feels untethered in a way that is truly rare, even for him. Watching Bob attempt and fail to take a selfie using an iPhone, or a group of stinky old white men greet each other by saying, "Hail St. Nicholas," is ridiculous. And it could easily be laughed off, but there's a difference between a joke and something being funny. Sean Penn's character, Stephen Lockjaw, is definitely a joke, but he's a serious man. Or he's at least trying to be. Penn's performance here is outstanding. There's so much going on with Lockjaw, you can sense it from the way he talks to the way his lips quiver. He's a man on a mission, but he's about 2 bad days away from completely unraveling.
The message is clear.
I'll be seeing you very soon.
Not if I see you first.
Everyone does a great job here. Leo delivers the performance of his career, and he's legitimately funny here.
Life, man. Life!
Tiana Taylor is effortlessly cool here, and it's just really fun to watch. I got lost multiple times in Regina Hall's eyes, and the newcomer here, Chase Infinity, who apparently has been in one film, is a revelation. Every character here is dealing with their past in one way or another. Well, everyone except Willa, Chase Infinity's character, who is forced to carve out her own future despite the deck of cards already being rolled out for her. Leos Bob and Sean Penn's Lockjaw are 2 sides of the same coin, both forced to reckon with the choices they made and the person that they have allowed themselves to become. However, Sean Penn's manic, fascist military dude wields his power in service of Ultimately nothing. One of One Battle After Another's biggest threads relies on community, something lacking in Lockjaw's life. Lockjaw is, to put it delicately, obsessed with black girls. This tough and rough and rugged military man can't help but be smitten by Perfidia Beverly Hills, Teyana Taylor's character, and all of her black power. This relationship is in stark contrast with Lockjaw's own personal beliefs and relationships, as well as his professional career. Bob has something Lockjaw never will: actual community. Having power doesn't necessarily grant freedom, nor does gaining freedom give you power. We all trade a little bit of ourselves to receive both. PTA has always been enamored with our transactional relationship with one another, examining how far people are willing to go to push themselves to get what they want. I have to mention the music here too. It's composed by frequent Paul Thomas Anderson collaborator Jonny Greenwood, who you may know from a little band by the name of Radiohead. There's like this constant blinking piano score happening in the background of this movie. I can't remember a time where it wasn't playing. That might sound annoying or like it would get old, but it really doesn't. It just continues to build and build this momentum and this tension.
I need your help, Sensei.
I need a weapon, man. All you got is damn nunchucks here. You know where I can get a gun?
Throughout the entire film, it's so addictive to listen to. It's just so exciting, and it really gets you into the situation the characters are in. You feel like you're part of the team, even though you're just sitting there with your bag of popcorn.
Whoa! Like, holy cow.
This music, oh. There's an argument to be made that this could be the best part of the movie. One Battle After Another isn't the movie we need right now. We don't deserve it. It's come at a time where everyone and everything feels especially nasty, and I'm honestly not sure the damage can be undone. But PTA has dropped by like Saint Nick himself, giving us this absolutely undeserved nugget of gold, and we have no choice but to thank him. Growing old is another major theme of One Battle After Another. Leo's character Bob is decades past his prime, and kind of serves as a reminder that the revolution promised to him and by him never really came. It's just one battle after another. Bob's daughter Willa is also rebellious, though it's not the fascist American regime she really has a problem with. It's her own father. No matter how hard Bob tries to raise his daughter the way he thinks is best.
Whoa, who's this? Now, is that a he or a she or a they?
It's not that hard. They, them.
I just want to be polite.
She's her own person and can choose what to do. Autonomy is another major theme running through this blistering stream of consciousness cracked out joyride from PTA. Bodily autonomy, societal autonomy, getting people to do things you want them to do is hard, especially when that person is your daughter or your father. You could almost say it's... One Battle After Another may not be your thing, it may not be your kind of movie. You may not even know who Paul Thomas Anderson is. What are you doing with your life? But I'm begging you, go watch this movie. Go watch it on a big screen. This feels like a new era in movie making. It feels like a return to form in the old classic Hollywood stuff, but it's also this new kind of exciting action movie from a legendary filmmaker. It is without a doubt my favorite movie of the year, which is a high bar. I think the latter half of 2025 has been really good. First half of 2025 was pretty rough. The last few months have been really great, and there's a lot more I'm looking forward to. As always, Paul Thomas Anderson reminds us there are greats living among us right now. There are goats, if you will.
I want to be the GOAT.
So please go watch original movies. Go watch this one. Why wouldn't you? Are you an idiot?